Are we live? I said, are we live? Are we live in his ass? I said, are we live in his ass? And we are live. All righty, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Minister, Brother Derrick Show. Hey, how you doing, Liz? We're a little late today. My insomnia and came back. I fell asleep at 7 o'clock yesterday and got up in the wee hours in the morning. But I did a show. I did a jam fest. I broke the keyboard out. Not many of you came, but I appreciate 30 of y'all watched it, so I appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about Revelation. But I got some news. We got, oops, wrong button. There we go. Sorry about that. Got some news today. Our belt is at the post office up the street, so we should have it tomorrow. I'm going to ride to the market later on. I hope y'all come accompany me. Going to try to go while it's still daylight. We still got to test that headset out. And like I was saying, our topic today is Revelations. I apologize for the late start, but I got up at 1:15 and I had to hurry up and shave my head quickly and get ready. So it's not going to be a long sermon today. But I believe it was the driver. Was it the driver or was it you, Liz, that asked me to cover Revelations? Revelations is a big book. So what I did was try to find if there were cliff notes on Revelation. And I wanted to know because there's a couple things in Revelation that I'm probably going to take up Wednesday. I know for a fact, I want to cover the first battle with Jesus, where he destroyed the Antichrist and the beast, and where he puts the devil, locks him up. And then I want to cover him teaching the people that weren't evil but didn't know. And then cover when they unchain the devil and let him come back on the people that he's been teaching for 1,000 years. I want to cover that in detail. But they got a little, mystery there. I definitely want to tackle that. But I welcome everybody to the show. I know some other people on talking that bull crap, but if you want to get some religion and some knowledge, you came to the right place. And let's get to it. Which one should I start with? My mother told me to pick you. We'll start with this one. All right. This is called Cliff Notes. Summary and analysis, the book of Revelations. We're going to get right into it. Cliff Notes mean you ain't got to be here all day. So let's jump right in it. In the book of Revelation, the apocalyptic hopes of the early Christian community found their clearest and most complete expression. Apocalypticism was not a new phenomenon among Christians. It was a well-established belief among Jews who held that the coming of the kingdom of God would not be brought about by a gradual transformation, but by a sudden intervention. When God would end the present age and establish his kingdom in the world made new. This conception of coming events is associated with the belief that prior to this future time, the struggle between the forces of good and evil will become more intense. As the evil powers grow stronger, they will inflict persecution and in some instances, even death upon those who follow a course of righteousness. The struggle will eventually reach a climax, at which time God will intervene, destroy the forces of evil, and set up a new order in which the righteous will live for all time to come. The appearance of this Messiah will coincide with the coming of these events. When the members of the Christian community affirm their belief that the crucified Jesus was the long-awaited Messiah, they necessarily revise their understanding concerning the work of Jesus was to do, and especially the way in which his work will be completed. Because they were convinced that the work of the Messiah must end in triumph and glory, they believed that this end could be accomplished only by a return of Jesus back to this earth from the heaven from which he ascended. This second coming, occurring at a time when all events connected with the apocalyptic program will take place, will inaugurate the coming of the new age as well as the final destruction of all the forces of evil. As time passed, many Christians, especially those who were suffering persecution at the hands of the Roman government, became deeply concerned about how long it would be before these events would take place. Toward the end of the first Christian era, emperor worship was fairly well established, not only in the city of Rome, but in the outlying regions that formed a part of the empire. When Christians refused to worship the emperor, they were accused of all sorts of crimes and subjected to the most severe penalties. Some of them suffered martyrdom. Remember that, Liz, on the questions? Rather than deny their faith. It was a critical time for the entire Christian movement, and many of its members wondered whether the persecution would ever end. While others were perplexed about the course they should follow, some even tempted to abandon their faith or at least to make concessions to Rome sufficient to enable them to save their lives. Under these conditions, a Christian named John wrote Revelations, addressing it to the 7 churches that were in Asia Minor. The purpose of the book was to strengthen the faith of the members of these churches by giving them the assurance that the deliverance from the evil powers arrayed against them was close at hand. John was confident that the great day of divine intervention would occur within a comparatively short time, but in accordance with the apocalyptic literature which Jewish Christians were familiar, he knew that terrifying events would take place first. He wanted to warn his fellow Christians concerning these events and thus prepare them for the time when their faith would be put to a more severe test than anything they had experienced so far. In writing Revelation, John follows the pattern that was used in older apocalyptic writings in the Old Testament, such as the Book of Daniel in the Old Testament, Esdras and Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch in Pseudepigrapha, the Assumption of Moses, and many other well-known writings, including sections of the Book of Ezekiel in the Old Testament and portions of the Synoptic Gospels. In all these writings, events appear as though they were predicted long before they actually took place. The revelations are usually through dreams or visions, which in common events are symbolized by strange figures, the meanings of which are sometimes disclosed by an angelic messenger who was sent for that particular purpose. The apocalypses were produced in times of crisis, and they were written for the benefit of people who were suffering hardship and privation at the particular time when the writing was done. At the beginning, John tells us that while he was on the Isle of Patmos, where he was banished because of his religious faith, he heard a loud voice telling him to write what he saw and then to send that writing to the 7 churches in Asia. The voice was that of Jesus Christ, who had been raised from the dead and who had ascended to heaven. Christ's messages are addressed to 7 angels, each one of which is a guardian for a particular church: Ephesus, Smyrna, Thyatira, Pergamum, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Christ commends these churches for the good works that they have performed, but for 5 of them, he also sends messages of warning and reproof. He is especially critical of those who tolerate the doctrines of the Nicolaitans, whose teachings he considers a real menace to the Christian community because they approve of the practice of eating meat obtained from animals that have been used as sacrifice to idols. Although the Apostle Paul and other Christians maintain this practice was not a matter of vital importance, and that everyone should be permitted to follow the dictates of their own consciousness. Apparently, John did not share that attitude, as he understands that the crucial test for all Christians, as it is for Jews, is strict obedience to all laws, and the rules pertaining to forbidden food are no exception. Although it might appear to be relatively unimportant, people's attitudes towards matter of this kind indicate the way in which they will behave toward weightier matters. Christ recommends those churches whose members have endured persecution, and in some cases even death, rather than declare their allegiance to Roman rulers who proclaimed their own divinity or demanded that they should be worshipped along with other gods of the empire. He refers to Pergamum as Satan's home, inasmuch as it was this place that the cult of emperor worship was particularly strong. Christ warns Christians to expect that their persecutions will be even more severe in the immediate future. Nevertheless, they ought to remain faithful and regard these afflictions as tests of their character. Those who remain loyal will be delivered from the hands of their enemies, and in the new order of things soon to be established, they will be given a crown of life and insurance that the new order will last forever. The persecutions that are now taking place will last for only a short time before the hour of God's judgment is close at hand. Following Christ's messages to the 7 churches, John describes the 7 sealed scrolls in which is written account of events that are about to take place. The risen Christ, who is referred to as the Lamb of God, is said to be the only one who is accounted worthy to open the seals. When the first seal is opened, there appears to be a white horse whose rider goes forth to conquer. Other seals are opened, and are 3 more horses, a red one, a black one, and a pale one, appear in rapid succession. These 4 horses and their respective riders symbolize the conflicts that will mark the beginning of the final destruction of the Roman Empire. When the fifth seal is opened, John is permitted to look upon the souls who in the midst of their distress cry out, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of earth and avenge our blood?" They are told that the forces of destruction are about to be turned loose in the world, and they may have to endure even greater torment. But if they are faithful through it all, they will be among the redeemed, whose names are written in the book of life. Following John's vision of the impending disasters soon to be inflicted upon the world, the scene changes, and four angels representing the four winds of heaven are told to hold back these winds until the servants of God have been placed in seals have been placed on their forehead. John then reveals the number of those who are sealed. Drawing an analogy between the 12 tribes of ancient Israel and the Christian community regarded as the new Israel, he gives the number 144,000 or 12,000 for each of the tribes of Israel. Before opening the seal is completed, another series of disasters is revealed in the appearance of 7 angels, each one carrying a trumpet. The blowing of these trumpets announces such physical catastrophes as the coming of a great earthquake, the turning of rivers into blood, and the darkening of the sun and the moon, as well as the falling of stars from heaven. After these physical phenomena, which will indeed be appalling, the wrath of God will be visited more directly upon those who persecute members of the Christian community. Before describing the manner of this visitation, John identifies the power now vested in the Roman Empire with an evil being who through the centuries has been at war against the forces of righteousness. This evil being is none other than Satan, the arch enemy of God, who is now putting forth a supreme effort to destroy the righteous from the face of the earth. He is the dragon who launched a rebellion against God. John tells us there is a war in heaven as Michael and his angels fought against the dragon as his angels. The result of the conflict is that the dragon was cast out of heaven and 1/3 of the angels were cast out with him. This same dragon worked through King Herod in an attempt to destroy Christ the child as soon as he was born. His work has continued ever since, and according to John, he is now trying to accomplish his purpose by working through the Roman emperor. His evil character is manifest in the cruel persecutions that are being inflicted upon Christians. And characterizing this power that now appears to be gaining mastery over the world, John resorts to imagery used in the book of Daniel to describe the wicked ruler who tried to coerce the Jews into submission. The author of the book of Daniel uses the symbol of a great and terrible beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. In like manner, John uses a beast to represent the Roman emperor, whose image was stamped on the coins used in the empire. At one point, John is quite specific in his identification of the one symbolized by the beast. He said, "This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man numbers. This number is 666. John is seemingly referring to the Roman emperor, but is also personifying the forces of evil and his condemnation of the emperor due to the fact that John believes Satan is incarnate in the actions of the empire, for Satan and the empire are linked together for the achievement of a common purpose. As John sees the end drawing near, he describes the angels of heaven crying with a loud voice. 3 angels appear. The first one announcing the hour of God's judgment has come. The second one crying out that Babylon, which is used for the symbol of Rome, it has fallen. And the third one describing the terrible fate of those who worship the beast or his image. As a final punishment, these false worshippers are thrown into the lake of fire, where they will forever be destroyed. 7 more angels then appear, each one carrying a bowl, the content which symbolizes the wrath of God about to be poured out in the form of 7 last plagues. The plagues will inflict the wicked of John's day, just as a series of plagues inflicted the ancient Egyptians prior to the time when the Israelites were delivered from their bondage. When this first angel pours out his bowl upon the earth, foul and evil sores grow on the men who bear the mark of the beast and who worship his image. When the second angel pours out his bowl in the sea turns to blood, and everything living in it dies. Catastrophes of a similar nature follow when the remaining angels empty their bowls. The great catastrophic events that bring an end to all the kingdoms of earth will also be the occasion for the return of Christ on the clouds of heaven. As Christ approaches the earth, the wicked people will be slain by the brightness of his coming. For a period of 1,000 years, Satan will be bound, and the earth will be desolate. During this time, the righteous will be made safe in the city of God, which is the New Jerusalem. At the end of the 1,000 years, the city of God will descend to earth. Then the wicked will be raised from the dead, and after making an attempt to overthrow the city of God, they will be destroyed, and what God tells us is the second death. The closing chapters of Revelation represent a glowing description of the New Jerusalem with its streets of gold, its walls of jasper, its gates of pearl, and the river of life, which will flow eternally from the throne of God. In this heavenly abode, neither sorrow nor crying will exist, for God will wipe away all tears, and there will be no more death. The Revelation of John is the one book in the New Testament that claims John as its author. By the time the writings are now included in the New Testament were assembled in their present form, 3 letters and 1 gospel were also attributed to John. But in the case of these writings, the name of the supposed author was added at a later date, and their respective contents indicate that they were not written by the same John who wrote Revelations. The book of Revelation often has been regarded as a mysterious book, quite beyond the comprehension of the average lay reader. Its many reference to angelic beings, its elaborate descriptions of Christ as he appears in the heavenly courts, its use of mystic numbers as 3, 7, 12, and their multiples, the accounts of strange beasts, symbolic names, and definite time periods, all suggest some hidden and esoteric meaning that supposedly can be detected only by an expert. For these reasons, many people have ignored the book, feeling that any attempt to understand it is futile. Other people have taken an opposite attitude and found in this book what they believe to be the predictions of a whole series of events, many of which have already occurred, and the remainder which are about to take place in the near future. The basis for these views, many of which sound strange and fantastic, is found in the elaborate symbolism used in this book. The use of symbols has an important place in religious literature, for there is no other way in which a person can talk or even think about which is beyond the realm of infinite human experience. But there's always danger that the symbols may be interpreted in a way that was not intended by the author who used them. Only in regard to the content in which the symbols are used can we determine what the author meant. One source of confusion has been the result of a failure to distinguish between prophetic writing and apocalyptic writing. The prophets used a particular literacy form in which they expressed their messages. The apocalyptic writers used a different literary form, one that was better suited to the particular purpose they had in mind. To understand either group, one must interpret their writings by considering the respective literary form that they will use. The characteristics of the apocalyptic writing are fairly well known. In addition to the book of Daniel and the book of Revelations, a wealth of apocalyptic writing exists in the Apocrypha and the pseudepigrapha of the Old Testament. A careful study of these writings shows they have a number of common characteristics. They were produced in times of crisis. They describe the conflict between the forces of good and evil. Future events are made known through dreams and visions. The end of the conflict is to come shortly, and those who remain faithful through persecution and trial are promised a reward and the Messiah kingdom soon to be established. The messages are for the benefit of the persecuted and are usually conveyed by means of symbols that only the faithful can understand. Interpreted in light of these characteristics, the Revelation of John is comparatively easy to understand. In many respects, it is the least original of any of the New Testament writings. In this style of writing, the number and kind of symbols that are used, and the purpose for which it was written. The book closely follows the precedent established in the order of the apocalyptic writing. This unique feature about Revelation is the particular occasion that caused it to be written. Toward the end of the first century of the Christian era, the attitude of the Roman government toward Christianity became especially hostile. Nero, the Roman emperor, charged that Christians were to blame for the burning of Rome. Although the charge was false, it was sufficient to cause many people to regard the new Christian movement with suspicion. Jews and Romans alike resented the fact that Christians condemned so many things they were doing, and especially disliked the belief on the part of Christians that their religion was superior to the older faiths that had been honored for centuries. The Christians often held their meetings in secret places, and the critics imagined that they were doing all sorts of evil things. It was easy to circulate rumors of this kind, and along with other things, Christians were charged with plotting against the Roman government. As the opposition to Christianity became more intense, the followers of the new movement were asked to prove their loyalty to the Roman government by denouncing Christ and by worshiping the statue of the emperor. When they refused to do this, they were tortured and even put to death. Under these conditions, the Revelation of John was written. It will be difficult to imagine anything more appropriate for the members of Christian churches at that time. They needed more encouragement and assurance that their trials will soon be over, that the evil powers of the earth will be destroyed, and that the triumph of righteousness will be established in the world. The message of Revelation was intended for this particular time and set of circumstances. Christians familiar with older apocalyptic writings will understand the book's symbolism. For practically everything John said to his contemporaries was said before the people who suffered under similar circumstances. It is a mistake to suppose that John was predicting events that would take place in the later centuries of Christian history, writing to the people of his own day about events that will happen while they were still living. He states that Christ will return while those who put him to death on the cross are still living. The permanent significance of Revelation lies in the authority's conviction that right will ultimately triumph over evil. Woo! That was long. Woo! Hey, Naya. Hey, the dog. The dog 2000. Alrighty, y'all. Woo! Give me a second. Let me get something to sip on here real quick. Hold on. Man. I'm here with the breakdown. Now, one thing I want to focus on is that when that book was written, it was written to encourage the people in the 7 churches. But it was also written for us. We today don't experience the persecution that the early Christians did. A lot of people try to say the book is a fake because it was written almost 2,000 years ago, and why ain't it happened yet? I think that the reason it was said to be said a short time was to encourage the people who were really being treated cruelly and were actually being killed, to give them something to hold on to. Because if we ought to be honest with ourselves, look at the world today and tell the truth. If the things described in Revelations were to happen right now, how many people would actually be going? Be honest with yourself. How many people? How many people do you know right now you think will make it to the next level? I'm being honest with you. I'm asking y'all personally. How many people do y'all know personally who y'all think will make it to the next level? I'm listening. Type in the chat. I'm True Freeman today. Type in the chat. How many people do y'all know that if Jesus Christ came back right now, how many people are you assured will go to the next level? I'll wait. Do 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 do. I want y'all to think of all the things you said that Revelations prophesy the locust invasion. Now the locusts come back every 17 years, and guess what it's coming due? I don't know where you live at, but here in Baltimore, we get the locusts every 17 years. And my birthday, I was 17 years old. When it came the first time, I was a baby, just born. Every 17 years, they come back, but they come out to mate. They don't come out to bother nobody. They come out to mate. They come out to mate, and that's why they make all that noise. They trying to get the attention of other locusts. They come out to mate. That's what their intent is. It's not to bother you. It's not to eat your food. They come out to mate. The mating call every 17 years. Now that's what the locusts here do. What do the locusts do in your area? But I mean, they be everywhere. And I'm not looking forward to them coming back. I'm trying to imagine riding a bike with them falling all out the air and just covering you. Because they be everywhere. I'm dead serious. They be everywhere. And if you wear like perfume or cologne, they have a pheromone that the females give out and the males are looking for it. Yeah, but those locusts is coming to hurt you. The ones that we deal with every 17 years, they coming out to mate and have sex. They really ain't thinking about you unless you get in their way. Naya says, I can't answer for someone else's destiny. Once again, all you gotta do is go back and look at the rules. Go back and look at the laws. How many people you know follow the laws? That's a good point, Naya. See something real quick. All right. All right. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready for the 613 commandments? Are y'all ready? How many people you know follow all of these laws? Believe in Yahweh as the only source of power in the universe. Yahweh is God. Submit to Yahweh as the supreme head to be in unity. Love Yahweh with all your heart, soul, and might. I'm going to just say God. Reference God by keeping his laws. Serve God. Hold fast to God. Take an oath by God's name. Walk in God's ways. Sanctify God's name. Read, study, and meditate on the book of the law. Teach the book of the law to our children. Bind the law upon our hands. Write the law upon our minds. Make, this is it, on the corners of all talents. You're supposed to have points at the end of all your clothes. Preach and publish God's law. Gather for the reading of the law every 7th year. A king must acquire and apply the book of the law. Acquire the book of the law. Be thankful to God in prayer, praise, and deed. That's just the first 19. This is to the priest. I think we skipped that one. Sacrifices. The continual burnt offering must be offered twice daily. The grain and drink offering must be offered twice daily. An additional sacrifice must be offered every Sabbath. Additional sacrifice must be offered on a new moon. Additional sacrifice must be offered every day of the Feast of the Unleavened Bread. The Omer offering of the first barley must be brought on the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Passover, and must be waved by the priest on the second day of the feast. Okay, we can skip some of these. All right, every household must prepare before God and rejoice at the feast. The Passover lamb must be killed on the 14th day of Abib between the two evenings. The Passover lamb must be eaten on the night of the 15th of Abib. Those who are unclean from a dead body or away on a journey, stranded, detained, or in prison, must kill the Passover lamb in the second moon. The Passover in the second moon must be held according to its ordinances. The silver trumpets must be sounded at feast times, new moons, and also times of tribulation to call the congregation together. Okay, this is more offerings. Ain't nobody doing this right now. If the congregation sins ignorantly, a sin offering must be brought. If a person sins ignorantly, a sin offering must be brought when he learns of the sin. If a person is in doubt as whether he has sinned in regard to any of the holy things, a suspensive guilt offering must be brought. A sin offering must be brought. We have Jesus now. We don't need this. Vows. A Nazarite must let his hair grow during the second period of separation. A Nazarite must shave his head and bring the sacrifice when the period of separation is over. Vows and oaths to God must be kept. The law is binding and loosing a vow. Ritual purity. Anyone who touches or eats the carcass of an unclean dead animal becomes ritually unclean. Anyone who touches or eats the carcass of a clean animal that dies of itself or is torn by wild animals becomes ritually unclean. Any article that's come in contact, oh Lord, menstruous women are ritually unclean. Women at the childbirth are unclean. Anyone with a spreading skin disease is unclean. Anyone contaminated with a spreading disease is ritually unclean. A house contaminated by spreading disease is unclean. A man having an abnormal discharge is ritually unclean. Anyone or anything coming in contact with semen becomes ritually unclean. A woman with an abnormal discharge is ritually unclean. A human corpse and anyone who comes near it is virtually unclean. The purification water purifies the ritually unclean. Those ritually unclean must purify at the appointed time by laundering their clothes and immersing in water. Those ritually unclean or spreading diseases must follow the specified God darn. We can skip that. Tithes and offerings. They had to follow all these laws. No wonder they couldn't keep it together. God darn. Every male 20 years old and above must give half a shekel to the sanctuary of DERRICK. Listen and obey God's anointed servant, the overseer of the sanctuary. The king that God chooses must be appointed. Listen and obey God's appointed priest. Listen to and obey God's appointed priest. When we give testimony in a lawsuit, we must speak the truth. Elders and office holders must be chosen by God. The elders of the sanctuary of God, chosen by God, must judge the people impartially according to God's laws. Whoever is aware of any evidence in the case must speak up and testify. The testimony of witnesses shall be examined thoroughly by the elders. False witnesses shall be judged according to the law. When the person is found murdered and a murderer is known, the prescribed ritual must be performed. 6 cities of refuge in the land of Israel must be established. Man. The worship of false gods, laws concerning times of tribulation and persecution, our duties to our fellow man, stolen property must be returned to the owner. The poor must be taken care of according to God's laws. When a Hebrew slave goes free, the owner must give him gifts. Loans to brothers must be without interest. Loans to foreigners may be with interest. Restore a pledge for a loan to its owner if he needs it. Pay the hired worker his wages on time. Permit the poor to eat the produce of the vineyard or the standing grain. Help a stranger who is a fallen animal. Help your brother who is a fallen animal. Lost property must be restored to its owner. Those who sin must be corrected. Love your neighbor, whether a brother or enemy as yourself. Love the stranger and new convert among you. Use the holy weights and measures. Use only honest weights and measures. I'm sorry. God darn. Look at all this. Show honor and respect for God's teachers. Show honor and respect to parents. Become holy as God is holy. Bring forth the holy seed, the 144,000 holy priesthood promised to Abraham. Marriage must be according to God's laws. A bridegroom is to rejoice with his bride. All males must be circumcised, newborn males on the 8th day. Should a man die childless, his brother must either marry the widow. He may release his brother's widow. A man who violates a virgin must pay the bride price, marry her if her father permits, and may never divorce her. The elders must judge in the case of premarital promiscuity. A woman's father may utterly refuse to give his daughter to a man even though he pays the price. The female captive must be treated in accordance with special regulations and repentance and conversion. Divorce can only be for the cause of premarital fornication by the bride. A woman suspected of adultery must submit to the required test. God darn. We only got up to 200 and something. Does anybody know anybody that follow all these laws? I'm asking y'all. Just the laws that we covered so far. God darn. Man. We don't know the blessing that we have. The fact that we can come to Jesus and he can erase all that. I don't think we appreciate the power. Now it's easy to understand why there was so much groaning. You know, somebody from our day would just think, hey, you know, God was there with them. They had it easy. They had to remember and follow all those laws. And Jesus was right there to make sure it would stop raining. It'd be a plague, and all of a sudden people would start dying. Something would go wrong, and the animals would be missing. All right, who sinned? Can you imagine being held responsible for what your neighbors do? I'm being serious. Could you imagine being responsible for what your neighbors do? Because something didn't just happen to them. It happened to you too. And a bunch of y'all had to get together and go say, hey, you got to go sacrifice an animal or something. We ain't checked everybody else out. And you the only one. You the only one that's doing this. And if the neighbor was, I ain't do nothing, you literally had to drag them and take one of their sheep, goat, whatever they had, and you literally would have to perform the sacrifice and make them sit there. If there was somebody that was unclean, you would have to put them out of the village and not let them back in for a period of days until they were considered clean again. If a man or woman had a discharge, they would have to leave until they were declared clean again. You imagine the work it took back then? You had to make people be responsible. You imagine if you had to make your neighbors be responsible? Because you were all held accountable. But Jesus was right there in the cloud looking. All right, something going on over there. Ain't nobody doing nothing. All right, no more rain. But why it's not raining? Jack, what you do? What you sent me for? Because you always doing something. What you ain't done now? We ain't got no rain. And then you got to drag Jack to the altar. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. Man, we don't have to sacrifice animals anymore. We don't have to go through rituals anymore. We can just call on Jesus and ask him to use his blood that he shed on the cross to wipe it away. If you commit a sin, you can ask Jesus to just wipe it away. Back then, you had to go through all that. That's a lot. Some of you live in neighborhoods like me where you got, 200 people on one block. Could you imagine being responsible for your 200 neighbors? All it takes is for one to do something wrong and everything stops. How come the sun not coming out? Ooh, I ain't seen the sun in daggone week. What's going on here? Can you imagine being the priest at that time? Sometimes they had to come pull you up. Come on, son, you got to come on. You know what you did, come on. That can get volatile. They'll be out there fighting in the middle of the road. So, we are fortunate that we don't have to so strictly follow those laws as far as being unclean and as far as sinning. There are a lot of, it's a lot of celebrations to the Lord that we're not doing. The Passover, Festival of the Unleavened Bread. Every time you have a good harvest, you're supposed to give a festival, you're supposed to give a percentage of your crop to the poor. We're not doing that. It's a lot of things that the law asks us to do that we're not doing. But you got to realize that those people were in the enclosed area. They were in Jerusalem, and then later there was a split. And so you had what Jerusalem and Jordan, you had a split. But still, imagine today, if we were still held under all them laws, somebody could do something on the other side of the world. Everything on this side of the world was stopped. And you had to figure out why. Why all the crops just fall off the trees? Why the water turned to blood? What's going on? Who did something? Who did something? It could be somebody over there in China. So luckily, we not held so much to them laws anymore. And the book of Job showed us that. It's more important to be walking with God. The laws are important, but it's more important to be walking with God. Remember, Noah followed all the laws. They couldn't find nothing wrong with Noah. But Noah did everything but walk with God. So that proves the law ain't enough. It's more important to be walking with God. And you have an advocate. You have an advocate in Jesus. if you ask him to wipe your sins away, when God looks down, he don't see those things. He sees you through Jesus' blood, and you look pure. On your own, everything you ever done screams out at him. Every evil thing you've done screams out at him. Even if you remember when Cain was killed, and it said that his blood was screaming while it was on the earth, leaking, it screamed out to God. Everything you do, every evil thing you do screams out to God. So a lot of people say, you know, I pray to God, I talk to God, he don't answer. He ain't. You gotta go through Jesus so that he can wipe you clean. So when God does look down, he doesn't see the real person you are. If we haven't covered anything else today, that should be a reason for you to get to know Jesus. Let him be your advocate. Let him be your shield. Let him be your force field. So that when God looks down, he doesn't see the real creature that you are. And let Jesus go to work in you so that you stop being somebody that God wouldn't bother to look down upon. You know, a lot of times I sit and listen to people talk. I used to try to be like a little fly on the wall. If you be quiet and just sit there and you can listen. And I would listen to, I'd be at church and I would listen to the women speak when they were together, and I listened to the men speak when they were together. I was a part of the usher board, so I would listen to the men and women on the usher board. Then I would sneak in and listen to the deacons. You know, I was just a little kid. You know, they kept talking like I wasn't there. If you heard some of the things they said while they was in the service of the church, it would make you wonder. These are the deacons and, you know, the nurses, and these are people that have power in the church. And sometimes you could forget you was in church because you would hear them talking, you would think you was out on the street. When the reverends and the pastors came around, the language would clean up. And see, this is the problem that I encounter with a lot of people. When they think somebody looking at them, they perfect. When they think ain't nobody looking at them, that's when you see their true colors. And that's why I try to be myself. People will say, well, you're an ordained minister now. You're supposed to be proper. And I've seen some of these ministers in their real state, not the state when they're in front of the pulpit, but behind the scenes. My grandmother was a treasurer at the church. And sometimes, most of the time, only her and I went. So I had to sit down somewhere while she was handling the business, because she was the secretary of the church. I would have to sit down and wait for her. And like I said, the people that have been leading the church, you would know you was in the church. Just because a person has a position doesn't mean they worthy of that position. But I always tell you, don't listen to what somebody say so much. Watch what they do. Watch what they do. Watch their actions. Listen to the things they brag about. Do they live up to the position? Because a lot of times people have a position in mind, and this is something that was really created by the Romans. A lot of y'all say I get on the Romans, but the Romans created a lot of things. You know, in one point in history, the Romans would declare, so some of the Roman popes or emperors declared themselves to be equal with God. You would have to be an evil person to think you was an ordinary human being is equal to somebody that created everything. You can't create nothing but havoc, but you make yourself equal. But it started with the Romans. And so now we see a person in position of power. We assume that they must be great because they had that position. There are certain things that you need training for, and there are certain things you don't need training for. You don't need training to be a priest or a preacher. You don't need training. You need a calling or a desire. That's not taught in the book. You have to want to help people. And if you see it as a position, or if you see it as a job, then that's what it is. It's a job to you. I keep hearing people say, well, he's a reverend at church. He must be a really good person. No, he got a job at the church. You have to learn the difference between somebody who has a calling and somebody who gave themselves the calling. Well, you know, I like to be a reverend at church. Have people look up to me? Yeah, that's not calling. A calling is when the Spirit says, I want you to go teach. A lot of times you see somebody in a position of power and you think that they're some great person. They ain't no different than you. They just have a knowledge that you might not have. They still might go home and beat the wives. They still might go home and beat the children. But every Sunday, they can show up in that pulpit and look dressed up and sharp. The mayor of your town might spend his week at a brothel, but when it's time to address the public, he's gonna be standing there looking sharp. Judge a person by their behavior, not by their position, not by how much power they have, not by how much money they have. Because they wake up every day just like you do. They go take a bath every day like you do. They take a dump every day like you do. They ain't no different. They're just in a better position or a higher position. But they still human beings. So stop putting so much on a title. Stop putting so much emphasis on a title. You know, I remember when someone said to me, you can't call yourself a pastor. Because in their mind, a pastor is somebody who was taught by years and years and years of school, somebody that had their own church. When I looked up a pastor, it was somebody who started their own church. They didn't say nothing about going to this school or that school. But see, somebody had in their mind what they thought a pastor was. The pastor is someone who starts a church. Someone who starts a ministry is the pastor of that ministry. A pastor can pick up the Bible and read it the same way you can pick up a Bible and read it. What's different between you and that pastor? What's different? Because he went to school with other people that were taught by somebody else. I'd rather be taught by the Spirit. I'm going to be honest with you. The clergy had a job to do. Like I said, nobody really could afford a Bible back then. So the clergy there was to teach and remind the people. That's what the Levites were. And they weren't allowed to own anything. And the people provided everything to them. And some of you would say, why? Because they were supposed to be impartial. And if I own land and the price start going down on it, I might could use my influence to put in the people's minds that it's worth more than what it is. Which is what the Romans did when they wanted to bring the Christians and the non-Christians, the pagans, together. They started mixing in the rituals and getting Christians to mistakenly follow pagan holidays, which we still celebrate today. Christians were tricked through the power of the church. And a lot of the pagans were tricked by the power of the church. And little by little, they were let off on the paganism. and focus more on the Christianity. But the holidays were still there. The pagans were still, they would come in there and act like, they celebrating the holiday. Then they go home and celebrate that holiday. That's the influence of the church. And then after a while, it started wearing off. And as each generation came along, instead of it being what you're supposed to be, it's what the church say it is. That's not the job of the church. The job of the church is not to put out political beliefs. It's not to encourage one thing over another. It's just to teach the word of God and relate it to you so that you understand. That's what the church job is. The church job is not to get you to vote for Donald Trump or not to vote for Donald Trump. The church isn't to get you to vote for gun laws or not vote for gun laws. The church is not, that's not the church job. The church job is to teach the will of God. And too many times you see the church trying to change your political views, trying to change your societal views. That's not the job of the church. It's not. But that's what it's being used for. I actually saw a video and I had to turn it off. Do you know that there's some hustlers, and I said hustlers. I'm not going to call them ministers. I'm going to call them hustlers. They was going around and they were telling their congregations, throw your money up on the altar and tell God what you want, and He gonna give it to you. It's God's responsibility to get you a new car. It's God's responsibility to get you a better job. It's God's responsibility to get you that house that you want on that listing. The sun came up today. I'm looking at it. He woke you up today. Attribute that to God. He woke you up. Now what you do with the day is up to you. How you gonna say, well, if God would bless me, I would have more. No, if you want more, go out there and get it. How you gonna put your lot in life on God? But that's what they teaching. And you know what? Them people that throw that stuff on the altar, throw all that money they probably could be using to get what they want. They throw it up there on the altar. And then next week, they come back and do it again. Like, wait a minute. During that week, did you get what you wanted? But why would you come back and throw more money on the altar the next Sunday? And then the Sunday after that. And the Sunday after that. And the Sunday after that. I'm just asking. Seriously. Pastor, I'm proclaiming in the name of God, I want a brand new car. Here's my money. Next Sunday come, you ain't got no car. Pastor, here's some more money. God gonna give me a car. Yes, He will. He's gonna hear you. He hears your prayer. He's gonna give it to you. The next Sunday come. Where the car at? After about 10 Sundays, you could have went and put a down payment on a car. Right? But instead, you throwing your money up on the altar and you ain't no closer to that car, to that house, to that job, to that mate you want, you ain't no closer. I call them hustlers. A real priest, preacher, reverend, pastor, whatever title you want to give them, they're not going to hustle you out your money. They're not going to tell you lies to get you to throw money up on the altar. Somebody that got the calling is not going to demand that you put anything into the offering plate. He's going to appreciate when you do. If he's doing a good job, you will want to. Why does he have to trick you? If he got to trick you, the same way I noticed that it's a lot of YouTubers that got a circle going on, and they feud with each other for really no reason at all, and then come to you and say, make his people mad and donate to me. Give me money to make them mad. And the person he talking to, go to their people and say, see what he did? Make him mad. You're making me even more madder. Give me some money. They have to make up these fake drama beefs to get you to donate. That's all it is. To make money. It's a hustle. Church is one of the biggest hustles. Because you can get people to vote the way you want to. Get them to spend their money the way you want to. Get them to treat other people the way you want to. There are some churches, if they find out that you've been to another church, you can't come back. Yeah, we heard you was over there on 10th Street. Nah. The real believers are always right here. You're not real because you went over and heard somebody else, then stay over there. You're not welcome back. Oh, you're going to leave us? They become a cult. Where you got people that's afraid to leave. They want to leave, but they're scared to because of the persecution that's going to come from the other church members. They might lose the job. They might get evicted from the house. I thought you was one of us. You're not one of us. You got to go. We can't have you around. Isn't that the same way in some of these chats? Yeah, I saw you over there and such and such. What you doing over here? No, you can't be here and support them at the same time. You can't do it. You can't watch the both of us. If you watch him or her, you can't come over here. And if y'all see them, block them on sight. If they get another account, if you figure out it's them, block them. Ain't that the same thing? It's a cult. It's only one cult I want to follow. I want to belong to the cult of Jesus Christ. That's the one cult. I want to belong to the real Christian cult. And if you're not walking with Jesus, you're not part of that cult. And you can say his name 50 million times. But if you're not walking with him, you're not a part of that cult. I want to follow the man that created everything. Not somebody who can just tell me what I want to hear or say what I want them to say so I can go do the things I want to do that I know are wrong, but I want to do them. As long as you tell me what I want to hear, I'll support you, give you money, donate to you. And when you say something I don't like, whoa, let me go find somebody else that's going to tell me, what I want to hear. It's okay for me to cheat on my wife as long as I come home and take care of my kids. I got to find a reverend that's going to let me come to his church and be proud of that. It's okay for me to go sit at the nudie bar and give money to some strippers that I should be spending on my kids at home. But I need somebody that's going to tell me that's okay. I'm only going to be around people that say that's okay. I cheat widows out their belongings and possessions because there's no man. I do work on that car that's not necessary to get extra money out of them. I come in their house and work on their house and get extra money out of them. I know it's wrong, but I can do it. I need somebody that's going to keep telling me I'm doing the right thing. If that describes you, you at the wrong place. Now, when we first started, we allowed all that to go on. But then we started weeding people out. And people hit me up on the back end and tell me all the time, you will have more followers. Your chat is too strict. What? You will have more followers. Your chat is too strict. All you gotta do is come in and act like you got some sense. How is that too strict? Well, it's too strict. For you to come in and be cordial is asking you too much. Think about that for a minute. Let's let it marinate. Yeah, I go on other chats. I can say and do whatever I want because people I can do anything, and the host don't say nothing. They'll protect me. Well, why do you want to come here? Because you got good people in your chat, but I just want to be able to come in here and do what I want to do. Well, you can't do that here. That's why I'm not going to come. Okay. I'm going to tell everybody else, don't. Well, okay. If you can't come here and act like you got some common sense, why do you think we want you? That's the question. Why do demons think that we worship the ground they walk on? They even think God and Jesus worship the ground they walk on. Well, if God wanted me to go to church, then he need to do this. He woke you up this morning, didn't he? The sun's shining for you. You drinking water, obviously it rained. You're breathing, ain't you? You can see, can't you? You can hear, can't you? You can walk, can't you? Well, what he got to do? You keep telling God what he got to do. We the one destroying the environment, but God shouldn't let these earthquakes happen. He shouldn't let these typhoons happen. You telling the man who created everything what he should do. What do you do? besides complaining? Billion people on the planet. But everybody I come in contact, they act like they're the only one on the planet. Jesus and God just sit around and just wait on your every whim. I don't think so. They give you the offer of grace, you take it or you don't. Well, I'm not willing to do all that. Then you're not worthy. It's as simple as that. You're not mature enough. If somebody can trick you out your money, where are you mature at? Somebody tell you you can do whatever you want to do and you know it's wrong, you still do it anyway. Where's your common sense at? Why do you think they worried about you? Seriously. If I'm telling you the right way and you insist on doing the wrong way, after a while, I'm going to leave you alone. So why shouldn't Jesus and God leave you alone? If I see you, I come around. Hey, you ready? You say no, and I'm going to keep right on moving. Well, I'm going to follow you around. Why am I going to follow you around and see what you're doing? Look here on YouTube. You'll tell somebody they ain't want it, they'll come back with another account. You'll block that account, they'll come back with another account. And say the nastiest things, and they don't realize they think they look cool. And to some people they do. But in reality, if you take a look and really look at it, if somebody tell you that you're not wanted and you keep coming around, that means you got something that they want to be a part of. And they can go, yeah, won't let me in here, sorry this, sorry that, but you're the one worried about it. You're the one to keep trying to sneak in. What did they say about you? I'm dead serious, y'all. What does it say about them when they gotta keep trying to sneak in somewhere? If you can walk through the front door, why you gotta keep trying to sneak in other ways? What kind of character do you have? What are you missing? Why do you think people, it's just a pleasure to have you around. If you're not here, I don't know what I do. Where did that mentality come from? Whether it's one person here or 1,000, it's a pleasure to come in front of y'all on YouTube. It is a pleasure. But if I'm not on, ain't nobody gonna drop dead. You'll go watch somebody else. So why do people feel Well, he's doing that positive stuff. I don't want that to catch on, so we're not going to go over there. Okay, but don't go. You missing out on stuff. But if you gonna come over here and cause trouble and be chaotic, we don't want you. We ain't gonna miss you. I think that would hurt them the most. That's why they keep coming back. I'm not coming there, and he's still going. God darn it! I got to go over there and stop him. Let me go harass him. Let me go bother the people in the chat. Let me go run them off. You accuse everybody else that they lacking something, but you're lacking something. Because you're not mature enough to come and just fit in. And that's all we ask. Come and fit in. And you can't do it. It's boring. I gotta speed it up. I gotta come in here and there ain't no drama going on here. There ain't nobody yelling at each other. This is boring. We're not talking about nobody. We ain't talking about nobody in the sector. We ain't talking about nobody dogs, nobody house. House smell like cat piss, man. Somebody trying to sleep with somebody, man. Y'all ain't talking about nothing. I'm bored. This is boring. Let me shake it up. Check the chat real quick. I answered that already. Man says yes. All right. Let's get to the other part. I hope it's not long like the other one was. Let's get it. Revelation. Who wrote the book? The author of Revelation mentioned his name, John, 4 times throughout the book. Christians throughout history have given almost unanimous affirmation to the identity of the book author as John the Apostle, who had been exiled to the island of Patmos by the authorities for preaching the gospel in Asia. Some traditions say that the Romans dropped John into a vat of boiling oil, but when the apostle did not die, they instead banished him to the burned rock of Patmos. The title of the book, Revelations, comes from the Greek word for apocalypse and refers to an unveiling or a disclosure of something as yet unknown. This title is certainly appropriate for the book, a work so interesting in making known the events of the future. Where are we? The Apostle John wrote the book of Revelations around the year AD 95 from his exile on the island of Patmos. He addressed his work to 7 Asian churches: Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Because John worked in Ephesus for so many of his later years, it would have been natural for him to communicate his vision to the churches under his immediate care and influence. Each of those 7 churches received a message directly, specifically for them, chapters 2 and 3, before John launched into his account of the future, which he received in his vision from God. Why is Revelation so important? The book of Revelation provides the clearest biblical portrait of the events of the tribulation, dealing with the specifics of that terrible time. The tribulation will be a time of judgment, a time when those left on the earth after the rapture will suffer deeply for their non-belief. John pictured this judgment as a series of 21 events, inaugurated by the breaking of the 7 seals, the blowing of the 7 trumpets, and the pouring of the 7 bowls. This grand judgment on the sinfulness of humanity shows the seriousness which God views sin. Payment will be exacted for those not covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. What's the big idea? While Revelation offers many details on the tribulation, even if they are often couched in the mystery of symbolic language, it is the final 4 chapters that dictate the overall message of the book. It portrays Christ's future triumph over the forces of evil and his recreation of the world for the redeemed. Ultimately, the book and the world end in a final victory for truth and goodness and beauty. For the bulk of its 66 books, the Bible portrays a world deep in the throes of suffering. Human beings have had a problem with sin since the fall in Genesis 3, and verse after verse has recorded our problem in painstaking detail. The brilliance of Revelation is that it provides a final answer to this problem, a hope that Jesus will once and for all heal the wounds wrought by sin, reign for 1,000 years on earth, and then recreate the world into a place that represents God's original design. The Bible's narrative is a simple one: creation, fall, recreation. Without the completion of the redeeming work of Jesus recorded in Revelations, we wouldn't have the end of the story, leaving our hope for the future in serious doubt. How do I apply this? Usually when people mention the book of Revelation, they immediately think about judgment. And without a doubt, much judgment occurs in the book. However, Revelation does not end with judgment. Instead, it provides a striking bookend for the entire Bible, which begins in paradise and ends in paradise. More than judgment on the evildoers, Revelation is a book about hope for the faithful in Christ. What pains or indignities have you suffered? What broken relationships have you wept over? Has death's sword struck deep into your heart? Revelation promises a world where pain and tears and death pass away. Revelation reminds us that there is indeed hope beyond the momentary trials and struggles of this life. One day the darkness will pass away and we will all dwell in a perpetual light. Come, Lord Jesus, God be praised. Come quickly, Lord Jesus, God be praised. All right, now that was quicker. That wasn't even a tenth of what the other one was. Yes. So, anybody have any questions on any of the things we touched on today? Anybody have any comments? Like I said, I don't want it as much as I wanted it the first time, but the belt should be here tomorrow. Now it says Tuesday, but the tracking says that the post office got it 9 o'clock this morning. So it should go out with the post tomorrow. So we'll be outside waiting for it. Our chains are still in transit, but we'll keep wearing these until they get here. I'm going to ride to the store and we're going to test the we're going to do another audio test. So we're going to be bringing this, and I'm going to put it around my neck and tuck it in, and I'm going to put the layers of clothes on top of it. Or maybe I should put it in the pocket of one of the jackets. Maybe that would help. Maybe I should put it in the pockets. Maybe having it even up here. Maybe it's too close. But we'll see. What I would like to do is like get a Bluetooth bud. Well, I told you, after the way, after I showed you that, with them on the air like a daggone fool, I don't know if I want to be associated with that anymore. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I even want to be associated, but we'll get it, and I'll show it to you, and I'll display it to be smart, but if we get a challenger, I'll quickly dispose of them, but I'm trying to build this channel up. You notice we haven't been beefing with anybody, and look how quiet it is. So that means the people didn't enjoy chatting with y'all. They didn't enjoy the positive things we do. They only enjoyed the hollering and the screaming. Do we really want them back? When I think about it, I'd rather have that $43 in my hand right now than but like I said, I've always wanted a belt, so, and it's custom made, so but I'm not excited about it as I once was. There's a lot of people missing. It's only according to this thing, it's only 3 people here. Now I see Naya and Liz in the chat. Who the third person? Show yourself. There's one person that ain't here. Now, the good news is we don't get trolled as much as we used to. Liz said, who's missing? Well, let's look. No Nate Barquez are sick. That's a lot of names. Now, I had a conversation with Bunk, the maker of the belt. He wants I sent him an email because I asked him, I said, it's the 14th. The delivery date was the 13th. It says that somebody applied for the shipping label what you can do over the computer. Somebody applied for the shipping label on the 11th, and it's the 14th, 9 a.m., and it hasn't. Why haven't they received the package yet? And of course, by the time he responded, I went and looked, and it said that they had received it. And just think about it. The day I asked him about it, that morning, 7:30 that evening, somebody took it to the post office. Now, what if somebody would have took it to the post office when they applied for the shipping label on the 11th? We would have it. Because Valentine's Day, somebody took it there, and it's already at the post office. So I hit him back, and he was like, if you wanted it fast, then you could have done UPS or FedEx. I said, no, I didn't call you about the speed of it. I called you because somebody applied for the shipping label on the 11th, and the belt should have been at the post office on the 11th. Instead, nobody had took it until hours. I contacted him 9:30 in the morning on Valentine's Day, and the post office received it at 7:30 p.m. So I'm thinking somebody saw it and ran down there. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna let it go. But the point was, when I hit you up on Valentine's Day, they still hadn't received it. They got it at 7:30 that night. Now, if somebody had took it earlier in the day, I would have saw it and I wouldn't have sent the message. But I said, I see this on the way. The delivery date is now Tuesday. He said, well, the first belt you ordered, the system got messed up. I'm like, I'm just glad it's on the way. So he sent me an email saying, let him know when I'm gonna go live with the belt so he could be there. So if it comes tomorrow, which it should be here tomorrow. I'll come live. Like I said, I've always wanted a belt, and like I said, it's custom made. Now, it's a picture that I wanted them to put on there that's not there, but it's okay. It's a picture on that belt that's not there. But it's okay. Notice how I say, you can look on the screen. See how it says YouTube belt? It says YouTube roast on both ends. It ain't supposed to say that. But I'll let it go. See how it says YouTube roasted on both ends? That's not what I sent. This is the picture that I sent. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me find a blank one. All right, let's use that. Browse. I gotta get rid of some of these. I got too many pictures. This was supposed to be Davey. Stop scratching my beard up. Hold on. What? Do I got filters on here? Yeah, default. This is supposed to be on the end, but it's okay. But that picture is supposed to be on one end of the belt. You notice it's a center plate and then it's two plates. Now I'm thinking about ordering a small one because I got a $10 gift certificate and I can't find nothing. I can't find nothing that they got to spend on it, and I might get a little small one and just have it be, you know, a religious belt, and I might just have pictures of the credentials and me on there. It'd be small, but it's something that I can hang up, maybe hang behind my head or something. I know what I do need though, maybe I ought to look into, is to the chat real quick. Liz said, doesn't seem like good customer service. Get what you paid for. Well, like I said, you know, it's custom made and you can't debate the price. The cheapest one that I was able to find was the one I showed y'all. And it's going for like 70. So considering that we got what we wanted on it, custom made, I can't complain. I just can't wait to see the size of it. Now it's supposed to have, it's supposed to fit 46 to 50 inch waist. So it ain't gonna be no little thing. We'll have to see. You say, make sure you read the voucher carefully. Well, since we got that $10 gift certificate, we need a cell phone case for the new phone. So it's a wait a minute. Let's go there first. This is the belt right here. Now, like I said, you notice that that's only two plates on it. One on each side. The 4 plate is $51. We got $10 off on it. And then with tax, I paid 43 something. Well, all I gotta do is just go up here and go to the cart and go to purchases and reviews. And you see it right here. $43.46 with tax. So let's track the package. And you can see it arrived at the UPS facility. Yeah, I see you showing my information. I don't even care. Hold on, wait a minute. Go back. Now, let's see if we can find. Hold on. ZTE Blade. I keep saying A9. It's A7. Okay, maybe that's why I couldn't find it. So do they have a case? That's a phone necklace. What the heck? Come on, come on. $47. Oh, it's made out of wood, personalized. No, thank you. That's a Blade Max. That's a Z981. No, we need a A7. Is ETN Axon? That's an X. That's a Blade 15. ZT Axon 7. That's a OnePlus. No, we have the Blade A7. Carbon fiber effect. ZTE Nubia? No. Universal pattern wallet. I really don't like them kind of cases. ZTE Zinger. Why can't we find our phone? Come on. Blade A7, come on. Blade X. I guess my phone ain't that popular. Or it's new, one or the other. No, I don't see anything. Oh, it had no results. Well, what about A7 case? Nope, they don't have it. Somebody really blowing that horn. I wish somebody would come on out. God darn. You really had to blow the horn that much. That's ridiculous. Doesn't say what kind of phone it's for. See, I wouldn't care if it was feminine as long as it worked. Doesn't say what kind of phone it's for. All right, I'm tired of looking. Back out of here. It would have been nice. Sad part is I don't see not one thing I want. What about universal phone case? The hell is that? See, that's gonna be a problem. We already don't have a tower near us, and that's really gonna block the reception. If I get the kind you just put in there and fold on. Yeah, if I get the kind you just fold on, it's anyway, I think we got a 6-inch screen. let me put in 6-inch. Oh, that is so cute. I don't know how practical it be, but that's cute. That's a bad mama jama right there. I ain't gonna try in front. That's cute. I must admit, see, that's gonna be the problem. It's gonna block. We ain't got good reception as it is. Like, I ain't worrying about the camera not being open because we got the other camera. I just want, if I decided I wanted to put it that's no different than what we got now. But you know, if I decided that I wanted to put it on the bike, well, I didn't. You didn't see one for our phone. We probably had to go to Amazon. But you know, we had the $10. I mean, if I can kick out, you know, $2 or $3, I still got the the $4 on the PayPal. If I wanted to use that, you know, if we had $10, you should be able to get something, you know, for 14. You already had, you know, 10 missing. Let's see what Amazon got to say. Does Amazon have it? As a matter of fact, let me be sure here. Scroll down. Go to settings. Scroll all the way to the bottom. System. Advanced. About phone. Hey. ZTA Blade A7 Prime. ZTE Blade A7 Prime. Phone case. Let's get it. Come on. Give me something cheap, Amazon. Come on. Let me get something for $4. Low to high. All right, $5.99. Does it gotta be pink? Wait a minute, you gotta watch. We got the Blade. What is it called again? ZTE Blade A7 Prime. Easy grand. Let's see here. Come on, Blade A7. Come on. I see Blade Z. A529. There you go. Oh, wait a minute now, 2019. So at least we got a new phone. It might not be a fancy phone, but it's new. ZTA. Does it have to be that pattern? ZTA Pro, Z Max. Oh, that's a Blade 10. Blade A7. But yeah, but that's still blocking it. ZTA. Ain't much different than the Witchcom we already got. ZTA Blade Max. Max. And that's it? Are you trying to tell me it's only been one? You ain't trying to tell me that it's only been one? This ugly one right here. Which we already got. I want something that it can be on it in case I drop it, or if I want to put it on the handlebars of the bike so it'll fit. This is the only one so far. It don't come in different colors? I see something for $5.95. Ain't it? Oh, it's a clear case. You sure that's a Blade A9? Where's the hole for the fingerprint sensor? This thing got fingerprint sensor on it. It got the face crack. Okay, the camera is on the right hand. It will be the left hand side, and the fingerprint sensor in the middle. So I don't see a place for the fingerprint sensor. You know, not that I use it. You sure that's for the A9? Don't touch my phone. Where's the place for the fingerprint sensor? Looks like it. Let me look behind the phone again. So we turned that way, and they got the camera at the top and the flash at the back. Is the camera at the top? Yes, it is. Okay, so okay, I don't see the slot for the fingerprint sensor. That's amazing how they showing screen protectors. Now see, we got the ZTA Blade A7 Prime. But I don't see that up here. It says Blade A7. I don't see it say Prime. That's what's worrying me. It doesn't say Prime. Visible DTE blade. Oh, so that's the RT. They didn't have the RT. I had to get the Prime. It had a small screen on it. Yeah, the R2 was the you could trade in. They were out of them. Them dimensions got to be wrong. The 3.9. I got a 6-inch screen. How is that right? You know, we might just leave that alone. Here's the question. I'm looking for a case for the ZTA 7 Prime phone. I know the case doesn't have the fingerprint cut out on the back, but will it fit the phone? Answer, yes, this will fit a ZTE Blade A7 Prime. Does it have the cutout? Okay. And somebody said, is there a cutout on the fingerprint scanner on the back? No, there is not. I had to cut my own. Well, I'm not using the fingerprint scanner. That's not a deal breaker. Fits perfect. Wish it was a little thicker. The product is way too thin, too floppy, and not firm at all. Better off using no case. Perfect fit. So it's only one good review. Okay, and that's the only one. It's amazing how they got the screen protector, but nobody got the whatchamacallit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nobody actually has. That's crazy. Somebody said they had to make their own hole. Somebody said it's flimsy. Are you sure I typed it in right? Ain't it? That look like it right there. Nope. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Nope. That's damn shame. Yeah, well, the problem with the phone patch is with the phone pouch is it got zippers on it, and it's hard to unzip while it's on your body. Now it has a what do you call it? I think instead of putting it on the belt, I think I'm gonna start using the lanyard, the key lanyard, and maybe I can just take it off. Cause what I'm afraid of, if I put it on the bike, like say I wanted to see our chats, and even though the phone gonna be running the camera, I could pause the video, but still look at the chat when I'm walking around the store. You understand what I'm saying? I can't chat with y'all because it's so hard to get the phone out of the pouch. But I was thinking, maybe I could put the lanyard on the strap of the book bag, the backpack. And then maybe I could, pop it off or unzipping it, take it out, look at it, while I'm riding, check the chat, put it back in, and then re-zipping it. Yeah, that's why I said, as far as it being, it being on your hip or anywhere, we ain't worried about that. I'm just saying in the holder for the bike, if we hit a bump and it pops off, when your phone hit the ground, the screen going crack and all that mess. I'm just trying to protect against that. If it's in, but I think I just had a pretty good idea. And matter of fact, since we did get a 3-pack, all right, here's the backpack. My Baltimore Ravens. I ain't misbehaving. Now you can see, I just grabbed it. I had 2 in the closet that we haven't even unwrapped yet. So, where could we hook it onto the strap of the backpack? Where could we hook it? I wonder if the lanyard will hook right here. But let's find out. Y'all don't realize how big this thing is. You see how huge this thing is? That's why I said we only paid like what, 4 something and got 3 of these, but man, they huge. This thing can carry everything. For y'all ladies don't like carrying a purse, boy, you can get everything in here. You got one here, and one here. So you see the 3 zippers. The problem is when it's on your side, it's hard. It's hard. See, I'm sitting here and it's hard. I got it in my hand. And see, I had to keep moving. So imagine it's on your hip and you can't see it and you trying to reach. And look, you got 3 different pockets, right? And you got 3 different zippers. So like this is the first one. This is the second one. And this is the third one. What was it? So in actuality, you got 1, 2. Oh, look, it's foam in there. I guess to keep it shape. I wonder if there's foam in the other one. And then you got 3. So you got 1, 2, and then a smaller one here, 3. So you got 3. You got 3 to, wait a minute, I feel some more foam. I feel something. Oh, and if you want to use it like a purse, it got these on here. If it wasn't so long, I wonder if I can use these to tie it somehow to the book bag. What could I hook it on? Okay, it has a lanyard. Oh, look at the size of this thing. I mean, you ladies can literally use this as a purse. You ladies can literally use this as a purse. I'm dead serious. Thing is huge. You know what? I could probably use that phone. I could probably use this phone on the microphone. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try that in a second. Remind me of that, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can use that phone on the microphone. All right. So we got 3 hooks on the back. That's what this is for. See, they hook on, and then you can put it over your shoulder. We're not gonna go that far. That's a little feminine. But what if I can put the lanyard? See if I can get the lanyard to go. Would this go in here? Or get the lanyard to go through the weapon. Can I get the lanyard to fit in through the weapon? Would that work? I don't want to put holes in it, but could I get the lanyard to go through the weapon? Okay. And then I'll have it on. I wonder if that would work better to have it go through the loop. But then it'd be sideways. At least that way it's sitting there. Let me see. I might could got something through there. Let's see. How do I look, y'all? Do I look retarded as usual? All these jigamajigs I have on. Now, can we get it out? So let's take this. I gotta send this back. Let's practice with this. So put it in, and can we zip in it? Now, if I'm on a bike and I want to take it off, see, it's moving around too much. But I'm thinking, if I was to tie it, would that make it firmer? I don't know how firm that is. I might be better to try and tie it. Let me try that. This thing is freaking huge. Oh, that's why nobody wanted it. Why we got a good deal on it. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me see if I can find something to tie it down with. Where's the old one? Well, you got another one in there, Derek. Stop being so picky. What is that? A piece of tape. a minute. I ain't got to hold on a second. Let me see something. Y'all know me. I'm the wizard. The wonderful Wizard of Oz. Hold on a second. Let me see. Hey, that's one. And okay, so put this back where I had it. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Actually, let me see. Will it be firm? It's still gonna be loose. Well, then let's do this then. That might have been a mistake. This boy is tight. I should have left it the way it was. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was tight. Okay. All right. So we don't need this. We really don't need that. I put a hole in it for now. Okay. Okay, where's the other side? It's already hooked in. Okay. When the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints, those drunk saints come marching in. We'll reach out in a second. Hold on, y'all. I'm working here. Ain't that? The boy they don't want to go. Come on. I want you to be nice and tight. Okay. Alrighty. How's it look? How's it look, y'all? Now, can I take it out? I'm zipping the wrong one, looks like. Look how it slid down. All right, we don't like that. So we're still going to use the lanyard. Now, how I want this to sit. Okay, does that help it? No, it's still moving around. Wish I could have got it to sit higher. But okay, it's on there. I mean, it ain't perfect, and it doesn't really get in my way, and gives me a place to put everything, so and don't have to wear it on my hip. She said, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. Do I look retarded sitting here with a backpack on? So we save money on that. Told you I rigged something up. It's gonna get in my way of driving. Wish it could sit up some more though. I really do. Wish it would sit up some more, but it's dead. It ain't going nowhere. And it's hooked by 3 things. It's hooked by the lanyard that's on there, and it's also hooked by the witch-com. So she might wiggle, but she ain't going nowhere. And like I say, my arm will be on it, so yeah. Because what's going to have to happen is the camera is going to have to, the phone is going to have to run the YouTube show. Why do I have the backpack on? Because I put it on the backpack. On the hip, it's too hard to get to. You even see, I got it in my hand. And I'm still having a hard time getting it open. Imagine it being on your side and you can't see it. I literally have to take my forearm and hold it just so I can work the zippers. So that's what the problem was, as far as that go. So now, when I go to the market later on, I'll have the phone right here. It won't be on the side. You understand what I'm saying? It's too hard to take it out. That's why I haven't been able to see our chats. The thing sitting on my head, it had the chat on it, but it's on my head. And the other one was on the hip. It was too hard to get out. I'm gonna be digging in my pocket while I'm in the market. But here, I can just go to and pull it right on out. And then put it back. And it's right here. And I can use, see, it's right here. I can use my forearm. And like I said, it holds 3 different phones, which we don't have anymore. We down to 1. But it holds 3 different phones. Or it can hold anything else you might need. Credit cards or something like that. So there's no need to keep reaching on the side. So that's why I got the backpack on. I just rigged it to be on the backpack. So now I don't need to have it on my hip. I can put it on the backpack when I'm out. Now if I go someplace and take the backpack off, then we gotta worry about it falling or whatever. But now, while I'm riding the bike, and then you see, if you try to, see, it's not opening. It's hard, right? But now, I can put my forearm against it to hold it for leverage, and now I can access and get in there and hold it again and come back. But when you just try and do it all willy-nilly, you know, see, it done it now, see? Uh-oh, I just saw a flaw in the plan. Did I have it go through? Wait a minute, we gotta do this again, hold on a sec. I should have put it through the loophole, what were you thinking? I didn't put it through, I don't believe on that speaker. I didn't put it through the loophole at all? Are you serious? Huh? That's your first mistake, sir. You didn't put it through the loophole. That's what you should have done. Right. So first off, pull us down. That's the first thing you want to do. You want it as high as possible. Like right there is good. Now, you want to put this through. Oh, that's not going to be easy, but we're going to do it. That's our job. We get it done. Wrap it through. There you go with the chicken. I didn't ask you to do that, sir. You did what you wanted to do. I didn't ask you to do that. I did not ask you to do that. Now bring it through again. So now we got double the protection. Okay. Oops. We don't want that. We don't want you, sir. We want you. Come right up here and click on. So now we got the protection. I mean, I can't see what I'm doing, but on my faith. Okay. Now, I'd rather it said higher. I didn't think about that. I'd rather it said higher. Is that holding it? Yeah, that's holding it back. Well, bring it out then. Because I want you to sit higher. All right, something went wrong. I had you on there. Something went wrong. What went wrong? Okay. All right, hold on a sec. See if I can tighten this up. Is that making it loose or making it tighter? That should be a question. Okay, hold on. Something's still ain't right. Not tight enough. It came right off. What? How would you come off? All right, hold on a sec. Let's do it like this then. Bring it around. Bring it around. What I tell you about that? You want to sit there and do it? Do my favor one time, man. All the time I was over there preaching, you should have been doing that, but I couldn't do nothing about it. You're going to wait till I come sit on the bed and you're going to get right next to me and then do it. That's just shameful. There's no way you can even excuse that. The people watching can't even make an excuse for you on that one. That's just ignorance. You're going to sit there and do it right in front of my face. That's just ignorant. Like, screw you. I'll do it in front of your face. You ain't nobody. What you gonna do about it? That's what it says to me. You don't care. Will it move? I wish it was some way to hold it. Said know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You gotta know when to pass by. Who are we looking for? I just need one piece of string. Okay, here we go. A little bit longer than what I wanted, but this should work. She said, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. Are you serious? I can't be that stupid. Oh my God, I put it on upside down. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? It's on upside down. Can I really be that stupid? Let me see if I can turn it around. Know when to hang out, know when to bang out, to know when to walk away, you to know when to run. Like a, know when to be tripping, know when to be flipping, know when to be dipping. Till the day is done, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You gotta know how to be smart, or the ladies break your heart. There you go. What do you want, David? Well, every time I start singing, you start. Anybody else you join in? I don't need no help. Where was you at last night when I was on the keyboard? I could have used some help in. Where was you at last night? Why you ain't join in? You want to join in now? And all of a sudden be singing? Why you ain't joining in then? Okay, I think we're ready now. Let me try it through one more time. All right, let's try now. I don't know how it's gonna work. We'll find out. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away and know when to act down. Oh Lord, it's lower than I thought. I didn't mean for it to be this low. Wait a minute now, I really messed up now. It's lower than I thought. I thought I had it higher than this. Right. And it's still herky jerky. I can't be that stupid, could I? I couldn't be that stupid. You know what I'm saying? I thought I had it higher than this. I got it lower. I got it too low. It's too daggone low. I mean, it could work. That ain't going nowhere. So somebody gonna think I got a gun. They gonna be like, look at him. Somebody gonna think I got a gun. Be like, what you going for there, boy? What you going for? Just get my cell phone. I wanted to make sure. Look like you reaching for that gun. Hold on, yeah. I don't know. I might take it back. I will see. Yeah, it's hanging. It's a lot lower than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be up at the top. It's at the bottom. Yeah, we gotta do this again. We definitely gotta do this again. Ain't getting around that. She said, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I know y'all think I'm crazy. Let me put some music on. Know y'all think I'm crazy. Too. So the whole song ain't played. Then I play more than one. Are you born in the grace? Are you born in the grace? Will Jesus Christ say, I know you when you meet him face to face? Are you born in the grace? That's all I'm asking. Just that quick, I readjusted it. The K30. I can see what I'm doing. You see how difficult it is when I can see what I'm doing. And if somebody try and snatch it, I got time to reach into my side pocket, pull that pepper spray out, and then grab Spike and just start swinging. And praying they hit the ground. You don't get the heck out of there. It's all right, y'all. We got it done. So now, when I'm out, I'll keep the phone right here. And then that way, I can check the chat. Stop at a stop sign or something. I can check the chat and see what y'all saying. mama's crazy, fat and lazy. Your mama's crazy, fat and lazy. Oh, hey, she is fat and lazy. She is crazy. Your mama is fat and lazy. Hey, everybody, fat and lazy drives me crazy. Not my fault, your mama is. Let me stop. Fat and lazy, drives us crazy. Sing song twice. We gotta take a stand. Work here. It's my last bit of tape to you. It's better work. Now I'm in trouble. Okay. Alright. Now we put that sponge over the microphone and we're gonna put it in that pouch. Okay? We're gonna put it in that pouch. But we're gonna have the phone at. This is gonna be in the first one, close to the chest. Now y'all saw me rapping in the phone. So we'll definitely see how this works today. Now the piece of I know why it didn't work last time. I know why it didn't work last time. The double-sided tape that I had on there, it was only covering a quarter of the hole. So most of the microphone hole was still out, and that's why you still heard the wind. So now we're using this foam, and hopefully the foam is going to catch. Now, I laid it long. It's the hole ain't that big, but I laid it long across, and that's why it's taped at two ends. So it's laid across the body, okay? I left the opening for the USB port, and the button is right here. I don't know how I'm gonna open this on, but we'll figure that out later on. We're not gonna worry about that right now. But we can put this in the pouch. And like I said, I really didn't have to do that. I really could have just tied it up. To be honest, I really could have just tied it up and give it some more freedom. This is what I really could have did. Just did it like this. She said, "We're born in praise. The devil uses us as his slave. Head us into the lake of fire. That's not how I want to retire. I want to be on ice in paradise. But you can go ahead and be his slave." When Jesus will pay the cost for all the mistakes you made. So why would you want the trouble of even fooling with the devil? I don't understand, and I don't see why you choose to be made a fool by that devil. All right, so it's already charged, but I plugged it up anyway. So it's charging. Now, we're going to put that in the pouch along with the phone. And we're going to go out later on, and we're going to ride up to the market. Now, what I want to do is, I want to see how the show we did earlier came out. Now, I went on, I didn't want no problems for the Sunday sermon. So I brought the screen down from 2560 by 1440. I brought it down to just from 2K to 4 HD and brought it down to 1920 by 1080. I don't want to give nobody room to mess up this Sunday sermon. So even though the base is 1920 by 1080, what you get is 1280. It's being mixed down. So instead of trying to come from 2K down, we just coming from 1920. That's less stress on the PC. But I also, instead of 30 frames a second, I made it 48 frames a second. Now, I shouldn't have done that because that's putting more stress on the PC. But we'll see how that look. But let's see what yesterday we just did straight 1920 by 1080. We did that this morning on the show. I want to see how it looks, if nobody minds. For those of y'all that might have missed it. Oh, it's up to 40 views. Thank y'all. And we got our full money. So let's see. Let me get some bass.
How does that sound before we keep it?
That's it for it. Pour some more. We're looking for the right sound. We got the melody. All right, speed up.
That was quick. It was in my head. I just put it down. Yeah, don't do the bass line first. Do the beat and the melody first, and then do the bass line.
Yeah,
It'll start flowing to you.
Ain't nobody in the check.
All right. We got our new track. Pause. Record. And go. I forgot we got started again, y'all. But just out of curiosity.
Speed up some.
You know what? I don't like it. I just thought of something and I want to figure it out. It's not easy to play. I'm going to use both hands.
I know commercial. You sorry.
What up, dorks? Excited about the science trip?
You forget we monetize. We're looking for a melody. Alright, get to the next song. We still working on the same song? No, they gonna commercial. God darn it! Commercials! Come on. Come on. I hate when they do this. It's like it's holding you hostage. Let's for the next song.
Let's give me a basic beat. So are you finished? Okay, we can close out then, and we're gonna save it. Don't expect nobody to be here. We just want a test here.
And I see him freezing.
Today and channel, and I blasted them.
I did blast them. I know we on the damn. They watching us now. Now we did this backwards. Beat up some.
And track.
Forget it then. Go ahead.
I don't like that. Well, that was the sound anyway.
Yeah, it's freezing. Yeah, we did the right thing coming down to 720. Let's speed up some. Music already in my head. I just gotta match it on the keyboard. I gotta edit these songs and bring the levels down. We still looking with that right sound.
I don't like it.
Tell me that I don't like
It's
it.
not good enough.
We still looking for that right piano. And what happened? And I scratched it. So we started over. And we didn't like it. Let's force some more. And we started over. Now I'm going. Keep going.
What are you doing? There you go. All right.
I don't like that. I can tell. Just
whatever comes to mind, what we gonna do?
Sorry,
I'm ready for now. Let's go.
we just went with it. Whatever come out, we gonna do it. bass. When I'm playing it, I can't hear the bass like that. I really think it be sounding terrible. All right, fast forward. We still trying to get that right sound.
Check the chat real quick. Anybody in the chat? Nope.
Nope.
Let's get back to it.
I gotta resize that screen. Speed it up. All right, we are back. What did you say? Why do I have playback on? What do you mean, Liz? Nice. Said, what's for dinner? I don't know. I'm gonna go to the market. Depends on what they got for sale. And I see the benefit of making your own music. I actually can go back into the original, go right to documents, and go right to the Audacity. Yes, I got the Audacity. And if you look in here, you see the projects. There's the project 1. There's project 2. And I also got. So what do we wind up doing? Well, let's open the project up. Now let me go and let me find our old friend. Where's our old friend at? Windows Media Player. Let me make sure I got it right. Oops. Make sure I got her set up right. Is she right? No, it's not right. See how it's hanging out? It's across my face. See that red line? I don't know if y'all can see the red line or not, but it was across my face. There we go. Now y'all gonna be able to see from last night. Y'all see the full screen now. This is what we did last night, and it's all in here. So hit rewind, make sure, and hit the play button. This is what we did last night. This is one of the 2 songs that we got. Now I want to quiet that down some. Yeah, it's quiet now. Now I'm gonna drop the piano down some. Now bring it back. Right the piano, and we lowered the piano. That's what I should have done. It's only at 44 hertz. I don't like that. I should record it again. Hello, hello. I want to raise that bass or something. Anyway, close that. No. We already got saved. We ain't got to save it again. We already got it saved. Now let's go here. That was 2. So where's the first one? Here it is. It's gonna open the whole program up. So we got access. So the music is laid. Bring it back. So it's third. Bring it back and turn it up. Whoa, I got loud. Oh. Now, and I realized something too. I'm going to have to redo that. I'm going to have to go in and redo that. Erase that track and redo it. Some of y'all are saying, well, why? Because that bass line, instead of having it go, dun-dun-dun, 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 dun, I need to go, but I gotta go, I need to just go, See, when you're doing a show live, you know, you really can't do what you want to do. Yeah. Is anybody still here? All right, y'all. We've gone 3 hours and 32 minutes. Are you serious? Let me get ready to go to the store. So I'll be back on around 6:30, 6:45. All right, let me go get ready to go to the store. So be looking out for me. At the 6:30, be looking out for me. Get ready right up to the store. Thank y'all for watching. I really have fun doing these shows, and I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. And we're gonna go test out. We're gonna go test out Bessie May. I got her here charging. And we're gonna see if it'll solve our audio problem. We're gonna use Bluetooth, and I'm gonna put the microphone in the pouch along with the phone. And hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. Well, it'll be right here. So you should be able to hear me clearly, and hopefully you won't hear that damn wind, because I'm sick of that wind. I'm sick of it. I'm ready to knock the wind out. Just give it the old Fred Sanford. So alrighty, y'all. I will see y'all at 6:30, 6:45. Be looking for me. Peace, everybody. Thanks for watching. Now Liz and the third person, whoever you was. Peace. We out.